You know the story, right? Moses, the entire Egyptian army bearing down, and then the parting of the sea. It's one of the most incredible, iconic miracles in history. But what if I told you that the entire event, the very nature of that miracle, could all come down to the mistranslation of a single ancient word?
Well, that's the heart of this whole debate. You see, there's a really compelling theory out there that the Red Sea wasn't a sea at all. Nope, that it was actually a shallow, reedy marshland. And if that's true, it completely changes how we think about this story. So, what was it? An epic sea-splitting miracle or a perfectly timed walk through a swamp?
To get to the bottom of this, we've got to become linguistic detectives. Seriously, this huge debate, this potential rewriting of a foundational story, it all boils down to what one Hebrew phrase really means. Okay, so the term we're zooming in on is Yam Suf. For centuries, it's been translated as Red Sea. Simple enough. But if you translate it literally, word for word, you get Sea of Reeds. And that right there, that creates a huge question. Is Yam Suf the actual name for one specific place, like the Red Sea, or is it just a description for any old body of water that happens to have reeds? And look, the case for the marsh theory starts looking pretty good when you see how the word sufim is used in other parts of the text. The argument is really simple. If sufim means reeds in all these other stories, why on earth would it suddenly mean a massive sea in this one?
Let me give you some examples. Remember baby Moses? His basket is placed among the suf, the reeds of the Nile. Over in Isaiah, the suf, or rushes, of Egypt's streams are rotting away. And get this, even Jonah, when he's in the belly of the great fish, says that suf, weeds, were wrapped around his head. I mean, the evidence seems pretty overwhelming, right? Case closed? Well, not so fast.
Just when you think this mystery is all wrapped up, the text throws a major plot twist at us. There's a clue, hiding in plain sight, left hundreds of years after the Exodus in the story of another famous king. And believe me, it changes everything.
Yeah, this whole thing really comes down to just one verse, a single line of text that forces us to completely rethink that whole Sea of Reeds theory.
And here it is, 1 Kings 9:26. King Solomon, the guy famous for his massive building projects, builds a whole fleet of ships. And where does he build it? On the shore of the, wait for it, Yam Suf. And it says this Yam Suf is in the land of Edom. This one sentence, folks, is our Rosetta Stone for this entire mystery.
So this verse gives us two absolutely critical clues. First, you don't build a naval fleet in a swamp. I mean, come on, this Yam Suf had to be a large navigable sea. And second, we get a pin on the map. This sea has a shoreline in a place called the land of Edom.
Okay, so what started as a language puzzle has just turned into a geography quest. So let's pull out the map, using the text itself as our guide, and see if we can figure out where exactly Edom is, and from there, find this mysterious sea.
All right, our first geographical clue comes from Numbers and Joshua. They're describing the southern border of the land of Judah. And what do you know? What's sitting right there on that southern border? The land of Edom. So let's drop pin number 1 on our map. Edom is to the south.
Now for clue number 2. This one helps us get our bearings. Here, King Jehoshaphat of Judah is planning an invasion of the kingdom of Moab. And the route he picks? Right through the wilderness of Edom. That tells us pretty clearly that Edom and Moab had to be neighbors. Okay, let's put all these pieces together. We know Edom is south of Judah. We know it borders Moab. And we know from King Solomon's clue that the Yam Suf is right there on Edom's shore. So, what's the conclusion? The body of water we're looking for has to be a major sea located way down south. So, we've got our linguistic evidence, we've got our geographical profile. All that's left is to put the final pieces together. And we can do it with a simple process of elimination, using the text itself one last time to give us the final verdict. Now, there are really only 2 major seas in that whole area. The Mediterranean to the west, which the text calls the Sea of the Philistines, and the Red Sea to the south. And the book of Exodus is crystal clear on this. It says God did not lead the people by way of the Sea of the Philistines. Instead, it says he did lead them by the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea, the Yam Suf. So just like that, the Mediterranean is out.
And with that, we've got our answer. The only big, navigable sea that borders both Egypt and the land of Edom, the very place Solomon built his fleet, is the body of water we all know as the Red Sea. So the text itself, using clues from its own pages, points us away from a marsh and right back to the sea from the traditional story.
So,
While the word suf absolutely can mean reeds, the text's own geographical clues strongly suggest that Yam Suf is the proper name for one specific place, the Red Sea. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many other stories that we think we know inside and out could be completely transformed by the hidden context hiding inside just a single word?